Hello, welcome back to, that was really enthusiastic hello, but I am very excited to be filming this video. I have wanted to do this for the past week or so, maybe longer than that, because I have been really enjoying this journal. It has surprised me because this was kind of my least favorite journal when I started, but it has just evolved into something new. And so I can't wait to flip through with you and just show you all of the pages and how it's evolving and my thoughts on it so far and my plans for it. So this is my Life Archives journal. It was just blank at first, but I had this sticker from Eris. I'm not sure what her name is, sorry. I will put it in the description below. Eris Lee, who I believe is an artist from Australia, but this is such a cute sticker that I bought from Mellow March. It was at a store behind me, and yeah, it kind of makes me happy looking at it. So I don't really decorate my covers too much, but I just like having one or two vinyl stickers. And yes, coffee every day, of course, not 24/7. I'm strictly a 1 cup of coffee a day kind of girl because I won't be able to sleep otherwise. But I have actually had this journal. I always have like scrap paper in the front. All of my books always just have like a crap ton of paper and stickers. But I have had this book since 2021, which is kind of crazy. So I started this book with the intention that I'm using it for now. I'm going to take off my cardigan because I'm sweating now that I'm filming. I always sweat when I talk, but I started this journal because I was only using my morning pages at the time, really. And I even wrote here, I never thought I'd be the type of person to have 2 journals, let alone 3. And now, a few years later, I'm a person that has like 8 journals. But at the time, I think I only had a planner for business tasks and to-dos and all that, and then a morning pages journal, which was kind of just a catch-all journal. Like, this was before I really had a clear distinction between just morning pages scribbling and then like documenting and journaling. I was still very much working it out. And so like I had the idea, of printing a photo. I'm not talking about this at all. So it's not even like a dedicated memory keeping spread, but yeah, my decorating was a little bit different. It's still the same. I'm still using vintage stuff, scrap paper. These are my stickers. So I wrote this 16th of December, 2021, and then the next one was 17th of December. And this is how it always starts for me. I get really excited and then I journal often at the very beginning and then I just drop off. That's just how it happens with all habits, all new things and systems that we pick up. And I don't know what this is, but I just wanted to use this. So I was trying to be a little bit more creative with my spreads, with layers, and I thought it was a great way to use up stickers. So I did this on the 17th of December, and then the next spread is when Kevin proposed, which is a really cute spread for me, obviously. And it's really sweet to look back on, and I'm glad I did this because like when else would I see this unless I went through my camera roll to this exact date. So I'm starting to really see the appeal of having the photos in a journal. But yeah, he proposed 24th of December, Christmas Eve, 2021. And we just got married last year. So this is a very cute memory. But after this, 26th. Okay, so I'm getting there. 26th of December, but then nothing until 11th of April, 2022. So several months in between. So I was already dropping off, wasn't even using stickers, and I think I was like, what's the point of this journal? Like I forgot what the point was. And then we went to the Easter show. I love the Easter show. I don't know why. I just love it. And this is my favorite dog ever. It's a griffon. I can't pronounce the full name, so you're gonna be stuck with that. But it's a short-haired griffon, and they were having a dog show, and he is just the grumpiest little baby. I love him so much. And at the time, I think I didn't really like this spread, but looking back now, it's just really cute as well, and it's just really fun. And so this is just a hint of what's to come. And I think I was onto something again at the time, and I felt like there was something here that could work, but I wasn't quite ready for it, or I just hadn't figured out my style yet, or hadn't committed to printing out photos. But yeah, this was 11th of April, 2022. And then I just did not use the journal at all until the end of last year. So this is the 30th of October, 2023 is when I committed to using up this journal. So over a year later, I decided, I can't even remember why I decided. I want to say it was because after watching Megan Rhiannon's videos, and how she combines everything into a commonplace. I like having things separate, like I've mentioned in previous videos. My brain just needs everything to be in separate categories and separate journals. I need to separate everything nicely, and I can't stand everything in the same journal because my brain just can't deal with it. So I really liked how she printed off photos of very, very mundane, like ordinary things, like her nails. And the thought of doing that just never occurred to me. And they just felt like something really special in documenting little moments in your life that might seem ordinary and boring in the moment, but looking back on it a few months later or a year later, a few years later even, it could become a very, very special memory. And even now, these have become special memories just like a few months later. And so I started just taking photos from my camera roll and writing about it. And initially I thought it would be just really simple, this journal. It would just be photos and writing. That's it. Barely any stickers, barely any decoration. So I call it the Life Archives Journal, which it doesn't really mean anything. Just for me, it's my way of reminding myself I am archiving my life. I am documenting the very, very simple, ordinary moments of my life that meant something to me, or maybe didn't mean something to me, but I'm just documenting little moments. And this page is because there was writing underneath. Again, it's an old journal, but I wanted to reuse it. I didn't want to rip out the page because it was still a fine page. There was just some writing behind it. So I just cut out another scrap piece of paper and stuck that on top. And I kind of like the dimension that it adds. So even though my plan was to start with just photos, it slowly started evolving to including more fancy headings. I mean, this is fancy for me, and like some stickers. But yeah, like I said, like this started out as just it doesn't stay in the corner, just documenting little things, Halloween, packing an order. But it evolved over time to being a little bit more of a junk journal and just a life journal in general. There's nothing too special about these pages, so I'm just going to flip through kind of quickly so that, it's not going to be a super long video. But yeah, like I said, I started just like sticking in receipts. Like these two have nothing to do with each other, but then I talk about the candle, like I remember writing this page, and then started adding more elements and stickers, and then I just started getting really excited about the journal. And then I'm like, wow, I have a place for these things now. So Maddie sends me like beautiful packaging stuff, and when I make orders I get like beautiful thank you cards and just really cute notes, and I don't really have a place for that. And it made sense that it would go in the Life Archives journal because it's a memory I want to document. So I started doing this. Again, if you can tell, there's another page stuck on top of this whole page. But yeah, there was writing underneath. And again, doing the Megan Rhiannon thing by documenting my nails, but I'm talking about how I'm mixing nail polish, which is kind of a cool memory to have. This nail polish that I'm wearing, it's actually starting to chip, but this nail polish that I'm wearing is actually a mixed color as well. I am trying to use up colors I don't like by mixing different nail polish colors. And it's been fun, and I feel like it really helps me use up nail polish. Trying a different layout, but I don't think I really liked it. It's not too bad now, but yeah, not too bad. Again, sticking paper on top of the writing. And now I'm getting more into the junk journaling. So I bought a moleskin from this moleskin, actually, this journal, and I just wanted to talk about that and document it because I was really excited for it to arrive. I still love it so much. But this is the start of me like junk journaling and just keeping packaging to put in here. But this Life Archives journal has evolved from just being a photo memory keeping thing into like just documenting everything and keeping packaging of everything. So even though I am still like, I'm using more stamps and stickers, I'm still keeping it fairly minimal. Definitely not the same as, it was in the beginning. Definitely more minimal here. This is a page I ripped out of a Midori journal that I wrote in Japan because I repurposed that journal for my that's what I wrote here, repurposed it into a 2024 planner. Like, this is such a boring spread. I'm just talking about how I found this book in my local library on sale. They have a book sale section for like 10 cents, and I was so excited and I wanted to rave about it because it's cheaper than thrifting. I love thrifting books, but this is even cheaper than thrifting, and they always have like really good books as well. Like I even picked up another copy of Pride and Prejudice, even though I already have that edition. It's just a different cover. and it's 10 cents, so it's practically free. Like I don't feel guilty buying those, and it's so satisfying. This is me documenting my tote bags. Again, this makes me so happy that I was able to do this, because I printed this out in order to just test the size of the bag. I wanted to put it over the tote bag to see how big it would be. So I just printed it on the back of scrap paper, but I was about to throw it out, and then I realized like, oh, I can put that in my journal and write about it. So it's quite literally a junk journal in many aspects, because it's things that I would have thrown out, but then I'm turning it into a memory. And again, I would not have known when I made this unless I went back into my camera roll. So I feel like this is just going to be so nice to look back on and flip through the year. Not only is it so fun to write about, because sometimes I just have random thoughts throughout the day and I ruminate on things, and it's nice to be able to get it out onto a dedicated page instead of my morning pages, because that just serves a different purpose. Like I don't really have anywhere else to write about this stuff. So it's really fun to do, but it's also really nice to look back on, even now for me to look back on. I don't know what this is. Oh, I'm talking about two photography jobs. I'm talking about my planner journey. So this kind of started around the 8th of November, which is kind of fascinating for me. If you're watching this, then you may already know that I do planner journal content on my YouTube, but that is fairly new for me. I've only ever really been doing like small business vlogs and diaries and studio vlogs. So from the 8th of November is when I kind of really started to think about doing journaling content. And now that I'm doing it, I'm just like, what was I doing before? Why didn't I do this earlier? Because I've been journaling for years. I just never considered to make content out of it, but yeah, here we are. I'm enjoying it so much. Again, documenting an order and just talking about life in general. I don't like this book. I should mention that I don't actually like the lines of the book. It's so widely spaced apart, and I feel like it makes me write bigger. I think I fixed it later on. I do feel like I write a little bit smaller in future spreads, but it feels like way too much space to write, and also the lines are too big. So yeah, it's not my favorite book, and I think that's why I left it for so long. It's just an old book I've had for years. I don't even know when I got this. That's how long ago it was. So I'm really happy that I'm able to make progress on it now, because I'm just about halfway, if you can see that. But again, this book has been sitting on my shelf for years, so it's very satisfying to finally make a dent in those pages. Where was I? Documenting little food dinner moments with Kevin, talking about my Techo Kaigi video. Again, that's something else that Megan Rhiannon does, and I thought that was really smart, because I don't actually document when I post videos or my thoughts about them, and I always have thoughts about things. So this was me talking about my Techo Kaigi video, and just I think talking about how much I enjoyed filming it and how easy it was for me. And I don't mean to say that to diminish the video at all, but studio vlogs take so long to edit, hours and hours and hours and hours. But the Techo Kaigi, I filmed it and it just felt like I was having fun. I honestly loved doing it so much, and editing it was so simple that I just can't believe I was torturing myself for so long trying to create YouTube content when I could have been creating journaling content, which I equally love. I just never considered. Anyway, I'm getting off track, but I really like how this looked. I printed off this picture of a printer because it was a new printer that I bought, and it turned out to be one of the best decisions ever. And this is me comparing the previous and the current printer, the difference in print quality. Again, this is such a cute memory. This is about the Sydney Maid Market in November. This was way too much space for this spread. So after doing this, I realized I didn't need this much space to write about it. I think no, it was only this. So I definitely could have squeezed this into one. If you've noticed, I don't really put more than one picture per page, which changes later on. I think layout wise, I thought it would look a little bit cleaner. But I realized that, yeah, I don't need all that space sometimes to write about it. So sometimes when I leave too much space, I just start rambling on about anything else I can think about. And at this point, I was still not writing anything until I printed off the photos. And I found that there were so many days I had to catch up on because of this, and then I started to forget what was happening. And like I've mentioned in previous videos, I started creating a cutout template to help fix this issue. So this is the exact same size as, well, this one's not, but I've changed the size recently. The same size as a photo that I would print out. So what I do is, instead of waiting to write until I have the photo, I write and just write around this cutout so that it's just an empty space, and then I can paste it in later. And that way I can write when I feel like it, even when I don't have a photo. I just have to, decide on the layout that I want. But this is also what I will be doing when I travel. I will have these in different sizes because I'll have different frames for photos. Like I might want a double one that I'll show you later, or like a landscape one, which might be a different size. So I'll just carry these in lieu of photos so that I can still write and then just add the photos later on. Receipts again. I'm not sure how I feel about these like fading eventually. I think it's fine for now. It's kind of cute, but hopefully it lasts like a few years. Otherwise I'm gonna flip back through and be like, what is this empty blank receipt? This is an order that I got from Creamy Paper Co, and I just stuck some of the stickers here because it was so cute and I wanted to keep this packaging. This is me documenting my dress. Again, I would not have had a place to put this. Very simple, very ordinary memory. So I found this dress at an op shop, and it's already starting to fade, but I think it was $14 and it came down to $8, and it was like this perfect silk dress that fit me so well. It's one of my favorite dresses ever now. I even wrote the perfect dress. So this is me just raving on about it, and it was just like by chance that we went to this op shop, so that was really nice. This is me celebrating my 6K on YouTube, which was really exciting. It's like my comeback to YouTube because I had went for months. I'd gone for months without posting anything. And then I came back and just had this epiphany about like journal videos. And this is special in a lot of ways because I finally reached 6K, which numbers, again, arbitrary, but it marks a milestone for my content. I feel like I found my groove with YouTube content, and it just got me so excited about where I was going. So yeah, that's a really nice memory. This is a very thick page. I think I glued a whole page onto here because I must have been writing on the back of the entire page. Again, a simple, boring, insignificant memory, but I can remember the day almost instantly. So I was at the library and I was using my tote bag for the first time, and this is my like messy commonplace book, which I had just started like the day before or something. This is a little bookshelf that we got for this corner in our house because Kevin was setting up a server corner. I just thought it was cute that he set up this little aesthetic corner for his tech stuff, and he like fitted in with my aesthetic for the rest of the house. Me shopping again. I didn't want to put the whole receipt in there, so I kind of just tore it, which I think worked really well. But these one shoulder tanks that I really like, not tanks, they're tops. And this, I was actually using this as a proper like memo note. This is one of my memo pads. And after I was finished with it, I was like, I usually just kind of throw it away, but I don't want to. I want to keep it. So I made a page about it, and this is the to-dos for the shop update. So this is a shop update, me planning it out and the products and just what I need to photograph. So I have this list here, and it's a photo of one of the products from the shop update. So I can see at like a glance instantly what that shop update was about. And this book page was not initially decorative. It's because there was writing again underneath, and I stuck a piece of paper again on top of it. So I'm just trying to creatively cover things up without ripping out the page, and I think it works fine. My birthday spread, again, I left this for too long and then I just didn't know what to write. I was running out of stuff so much, but again, just documenting flowers that Kevin got me and a new office chair, which I'm sitting on right now, that he also got me as a surprise for my birthday. This is the Patreon postcard that I made. Oh, this is cute. I forgot about that. This is the Patreon postcard for 2023 that I made for my patrons. I send out a postcard every year, at the end of every year, as a way to say thank you. I make a postcard and I also send them a sticker. This is the like bonus sticker. But yeah, I really like it, and this is me sending it at the post office and all of the postcards that I wrote. Again, I've never done this before. I've never been able to document this before. I never thought I wanted to or needed to, but seeing this makes me so happy. And I always have a seconds one, like I printed on the wrong side, like it's upside down. So the fact that I can just keep it in here. Yeah, I love this. I love this so much. This makes me so happy. This little tip in makes me happy as well. I only did this because I printed off too many photos and then I didn't leave enough space for it. So I decided to just glue it back to back and stick it in here. But this was an accident, a very pleasant accident. This is me getting excited over my 5-year diary. I just cut out the packaging. This is from their like flyer brochure thing. But yeah, I cut this out from the rest of their packaging and just talked about that. This day was like it's a very eventful day. So there was a blackout and I was just documenting that and writing about it. But like earlier that day, we went bowling, we played pool, we went to the library to work for a little bit. And then we did laundry. Like we went to the laundromat to wash a, what do you call it? Like the, why can't I remember the name? Like a mattress topper. And it's too big for our washing machine. So we had to bring it to the laundromat. And now that like winter was over, we didn't need to use it anymore. So that was just me documenting that in like one day. But like, as you've seen, most of my days are very, very simple. Like this is not even something that happened in the day. It's just me raving about an order and like a dress that I bought. So I don't actually write about events as often. And I think this is what used to hold me back from memory keeping. I work from home every day. I'm always home and I barely leave my house, so I feel like I barely do anything, and I'm fine with that. I'm very, very content about never leaving my house, but that means I don't have interesting things to document. I don't meet up with people very often. I don't go out and do things very often, but I found that there is like such a simple joy to be had from just documenting these little memories as well, which really surprised me. This is the day I got the heat press machine delivered, and then I just pasted in like the wristband from the Star Casino. We went there for a work dinner. Me raving about my bar stools. Again, most of these pages are so simple, but like it makes me so happy. I really like having photos, but mostly I really like having space to write, to just ramble. Not too much space, because then I'm just like finding things to say. But this was when we went to Melbourne. This is the first day on our road trip. We stopped by at this cafe and it was like one of the best ham and cheese croissants I've ever had. Just a cute selfie we took in Melbourne, and then just talking about what we did. I did this when we came back from Melbourne because I didn't actually bring this diary. I should have, but I wasn't into travel journaling as much back then. But since we were there for family, I don't know if I would put it in the life archives or travel journal. I think we were only there for 3 days, so I think it definitely is more of a life archives thing. We went to a rooftop bar. I tried out this brush lettering because I just loved how Jane was using it in her videos. It's this pen that I have that I've had for a while now. I don't really like this pen, but yeah, it's okay. I just don't like the color, and I think the tip is not, I don't know, I think it's just the color. But I am trying to use it up, so yeah, I was just experimenting with it. I don't really like how it turned out, but I don't hate it. This was like the best burger ever. I loved it. This was such a nice day. One of my favorite memories. Yeah, I found that I take more photos now that I am filling out this life archives, which is exactly what I wanted. Like even though I am a photographer, I don't take many photos of regular moments. I always forget to take photos of my food. I forget to take photos of myself. Like I don't really take many selfies either, but yeah, this live archives journal is like reminding me to take photos because I know I want to write about it later. So for that purpose as well, it's been amazing. Again, I printed off too many photos and didn't leave enough pages. This is when I used to wait until I had the photos. So I just created this like 4-page photo thing and a little note about each. I don't like this page at all. Let's move on from that. Me talking about the Patreon calendar, the printable calendar that I made. I'm FaceTiming with Kevin here. He went to Japan for 2 weeks for a work trip, and this is me being moody about it. I have a personal page coming up. No, not this one. Just me being moody again. Like, he was gone, so I'm just taking the whole page to write about it. This next one is a personal page. I do not use this often, for very personal, like ranty or like emotional pages. I do have a separate healing journal for that, but I have decided to just ditch that. Like my morning pages is mostly where I dump and process my emotions. But again, I was on my period and then Kevin was away for work, so I was just feeling extra emotional. So these 2 pages are personal pages, which I have marked with a red dot for me to know to like not show it in journals. So we're just going to skip that. I realized that I didn't need to be writing the entire, like I didn't need to fill out the entire page every time I write in here. So I was like, hey, I'm just going to fill out half the page. Again, this is me being moody that Kevin's gone. So I just wrote this like really emotional song lyric, one of my favorite songs. And then 2 days later, I filled up the rest of the page. So that was fun, but I hate how this looks. So we're going to move on from that too. It was an interesting realization that I don't have to use the entire page. But again, I don't really like how it looks. But, you know, it's an alternative. It's an option if I want it. This is me getting so excited about booking trips to Osaka. This is kind of new for me as well. I just screenshotted it from the booking page and stuck it in here. I would not normally do something like that. And like, I love it. I love it so much. And this is a product from my shop actually, but it's a photo I took in Osaka back in 2018. So I'm like, it kind of works. We're going back to Osaka. So this was a second sticker. So I'm happy to be using that as well. Just a nice photo I liked. I don't know what I'm talking about. God, I miss him so much. I'm still very moody about Kevin being gone, but he boarded the plane and he's on his way home, and I think I just used a random photo. He bought me Delphonics, this pouch I've been after. I haven't made a video about this, but I will when, like, there's nothing really I need to say about it right now, but I will show you when I go to Japan. Right now I'm just using it as like a purse organizer. Like I have my lip balm in here and my hand cream and like glue tape. So I'm using it like when I'm not traveling, I'm going to be using this just in my bag as like a bag organizer. But when I do go on my trips, I will show you what I pack for my journaling supplies. So I just printed this out and just wrote the price of it because there was a price conversion, and I know that I would want to see how much it costs without needing to like scroll back through my statements. And a wallet that I bought, this little random flap. It's all smudgy, but I really like this spread. So I finished reading this book called Divine Rivals, which I found through a photo that my customer tagged me in because my tote bag was also in that photo. It was like so fortuitous, but I had never heard of that book before and she was raving about it. So I'm like, you know what, I'm going to read it. It sounds amazing. And I did, and it was all about typewriters. It was a central theme of the book, and that was the catalyst for me getting back into my typewriter. And my typewriter is right next to me on the table, but that was like just, it led to a snowball effect, and it was amazing. So I wrote this on the back of an envelope, and I like an envelope that I just got in the mail, like a spam one. So I wrapped it up and I wrote on the back of it, stuck it in here. It kind of worked perfectly. This was printed on a glossy paper, which was a mistake because my inkjet does not like it for this paper. This does not like printing on this paper. This is so messy. I hate it, but I kind of love it. This is cut up from packaging. That bird is going crazy. This is cut up from a packaging from a present that Kevin's cousins got us. It's so sweet. It was a surprise. We had always gotten them presents when they were younger, and then we agreed, okay, now that you're older, like no more presents. I don't want to buy things that you don't want. We'll buy things now and then, but they surprised us because they said they'd been working and they wanted to thank us by getting us a present to say thank you for everything that we bought them. But they bought me this like incense flue. I had no idea it was called a flue. I still need to get incense sticks for it, but it's so sweet. They made sure it like fit with my style, which it very much is. I love amber glass, but I made a little sleeve thing here. I just glued here so that I could stick the photo in because I wanted the photo, but I'm like, where do I put it? And this was kind of an epiphany for me, but not really, because I was doing it before. But this is ripped from an old Happy Mail packaging that I had kept for years. I wanted to use this, didn't know where to put it, and even though it's not related to this at all, it kind of works, and I'm really happy that I had somewhere to put it. Again, it's like my hoarding is now justified. So I was just documenting that. I wanted to try something different with the heading. Again, I think this is inspired by Jane, but my capital letters are shocking. Like, I've always been trying to work on my capital letters. Like, my standard cursive writing is fine, but I have struggled like figure out the shape of capital letters. It's just not very nice. So I always train myself to write in capital letters when I can. And yeah, this was a struggle, but that's fun. It's cute. It's a fun page anyway, so I don't mind it. This is a random typewriter thing that I wrote on a random day. I felt inspired and I just wanted to type out what was on my brain. So yeah, this was written on a typewriter on scrap paper. Again, there's writing on the back, but I'm just going to read it out because I really like this. It's just a random thought that I had. I was just going through something at the time, but I stuck it down on this handmade paper. Again, would not have had a place to put this before. So this is why I'm loving the life archives and how it's evolved, but I'm going to read this out to you. Someday, I hope you'll learn that you deserve to take up as much space as everyone else, to tell your story and to share your thoughts too. Someday, I hope it'll come as naturally to you as breathing. Someday, you'll no longer have to second guess yourself, to fear what anyone else thinks, because you've learnt that no matter how hard you try, people will still find a reason to dislike, belittle, criticize. So you might as well be your unflinching and unapologetic self. At least when others dislike you, you will at least like yourself, and that counts the most. Someday, you will believe that you not only deserve to be here, but it is your right. You do not and should not have to fight for a seat at the table to convince others why you are worthy of love. You simply are. And I made a mistake there, but I just wrote over it. And this page is so special. This is from Panda Sove. She was doing Christmas doodles, and like, that's so generous, but she asked for prompts that were like personal to you, and so she would doodle it. And so I said like a bear drinking coffee and like journaling, which she did, which is the cutest thing ever. I need to show you a close-up of that. I printed it on paper that is not so good, but I do have the digital file, which is amazing. But I also decided to, again, hoarding this, didn't really have a place to put it. I decided to put this postcard from October, there's no date, but I'm pretty sure it's from December 2021 or 2022. But since it was related to Soph, who has the cutest art style, and she's the sweetest person in the entire world, please go visit her page. She is just so lovely. Her art is so wholesome, but she's just such a lovely person as well. But Panda Sove, this is her postcard that she sent to people. It's so nice. So I was just documenting this, and I'm just really happy I had a place to put this now, nice and safe. So again, this is from packaging that I hoarded and never really had a place to put. So not related to this page at all, but I put it in here because I like the terracotta style like pattern of it. And then I stuck this sticker on top from Jasmine's order. So this is a Happy Mail documenting that. She gave me some cute freebie stickers, which I stuck down, and the stamp from there. So I stuck one of the stickers here, but also like a scrap paper that I typed on the typewriter. I'm just raving about Jane the Crazy and just talking about how like I haven't really journaled like this in a while, like creative journaling. So this was really fun. Again, the glossy paper, just it doesn't go well with my printer. It's just this type of glossy paper. I think it was the back of like some flyer, but we went to Chinatown in the city, which was like a really random impromptu day. Like, as you've seen, I rarely leave the house, so this was definitely worth documenting. We went to get Japanese food for dinner and then went to the market, and I actually wrote this in public, and it was like the perfect practice for me for travel journaling. So I had these, where is it? I had these, well, I think I only had one actually, but I held it there. I've got washi tape that I can kind of keep it there. It doesn't stay very well, but I kept it there. I wrote on a park bench in public, and then once I got here, once I was past this point, then I moved it down here and then I wrote the rest. So I just stuck in the photos later, which makes me really happy. It's just, it felt like travel journaling, and I was so excited about that. This is me raving about Jane the Crazy. Again, current obsession. I'm such a Jane fangirl now. Jane, if you're watching, hi. That makes me so excited and nervous to think that you're watching. But yeah, her videos are the best. She is so creative with her travel journaling that like, even though we have such different styles, as you can tell, I'm not very colorful at all, and I'm very simple and I write a lot. We're both photographers, so we shared our love for photos that way, but she's so colorful and creative with her journals that it inspires me, even though, again, we have such different styles. So there's just me raving about that and how that is the catalyst for me being obsessed with travel journaling and travel, and just like having my two loves converge and like it all making so much sense. So I was very excited. Like this was like, I'm being silly because I'm fangirling, but it actually was a very significant moment for me, because prior to this, I didn't really know how to combine everything that I loved, and travel journaling felt like the way I was able to combine it all, because I had been sitting on my travel vlog footage from Japan for months, and I was hesitating posting it and finishing it because it felt like it didn't match the rest of my channel. But travel journaling, it just clicked for me. So when I realized I could do that, anyway, that's a whole other thing. This is an old Polaroid that I don't remember how long. I have the date from the digital photos that I took of this day. I want to say it's 2021, but I took this, not a Polaroid, it's from a Fujifilm camera, Instax camera, but it's like the bigger one. I had this Polaroid for ages. I keep calling it Polaroid, sorry, but I had this photo for ages, and I have a bunch of these that are just lying around, and I just never knew what to do with them. But now I could stick them in my journal. Can't emphasize how happy I am to finally have a place for it. And I wrote about this because we went to the same place that weekend. So I was just talking about how I was excited for those plans. We didn't actually go down this road. It's a long story, but this is a new frame format I was trying. Again, I think I got this from Jane, this idea, but early that morning I was journaling at the cafe. Again, journaling in public is very new for me, but if you remember from my 2024 planner video, my theme for this year was to take up more space, and that includes being more confident in public and just doing the things that I want to do without being so anxious and afraid. So journaling in public is a huge win for me. That is me taking up space, so I am documenting that. And also later that day, I did a massive Sunday reset and just completely decluttered the studio. And ever since this day, the 28th of January, oh, that's only like a week ago, like 2 weeks ago. Ever since this day, the studio has been so clean. Like this day was actually very significant because it marked a milestone for me actually keeping things clean. Like I've always struggled with keeping my desk clean, and like from this day on, my desk has been clean. Anyway, I'm rambling, but this was a very significant day, so I was happy about that. Like I didn't know that it would lead to this in the future, but I know at the time I was just very happy with how clean everything looked. This was the next morning. I took a selfie in the studio because it was so clean, and I liked the photo wearing that dress again that I thrifted. I was watching a Jane the Crazy video. This is a screenshot. This is a journal dedicated to Jane the Crazy because I love her videos, but I was just watching it while I was doing work, and then I spotted my envelope in her journal. So one of her client brides gave Jane one of my stickers, and she must have given it in the envelope, which was so sweet. Like, if you're watching this, if you were the client bride, can you please let me know who you are? Because like, I owe you because Jane now knows me because of you. So please let me know if that was you that gave Jane my stickers, because seeing my journal in her video while I was randomly watching it was a moment that I had to document. This calendar was sitting. Why does a calendar sit on a wall? This calendar was on my wall. I printed it on scrap paper because it's just going to be on the wall for the month, and I didn't want to throw it away, but I didn't know where to put it. And then I was like, where do you put things that you don't want to throw away, but you don't know where to put them? You put them in the life archive. So I folded it and put it in here, and now it's archived. I can't explain it, and I feel like I'm just a broken record right now, but this journal makes me so happy because of this. Like, it's here now. And then what I did was, so I have the highlights here, but I thought a nicer way to show it is to just write down my highlights for the month. So this is a Pokemon related thing. We booked flights to Osaka. I bought another portrait machine. I did a pull-up. That was my goal for the month. And I had a renewed spark for my typewriter and my film camera. And this is just memo, a piece of paper memo. So I'm really excited that for like every future calendar, like I have the February one on my wall right now, I can just archive it in my journal. And that is why this is the Life Archives, because I'm archiving things. I'm not just, writing about memories. Anyway, I am a broken record. I'm sorry, but I'm just excited. I don't like that this is an old film photo that I took. It doesn't have a date. And the person spelled my name wrong. It says Chenug. My last name is Chung, but they wrote Chenu. Just didn't even try. But it's an old film photo I took from, I want to say like 2015, like a long time ago, like 10 years ago. And again, I have a bunch of film photos. I actually think they're all in my mum's place. So now that I have a place to put it in, I did a tip in, I'm just going to stick in all my film photos. Like, well, not all of them, but I have a place for them. And I'm so excited because normally I would just develop it or print it and not know what to do with it. Like, I used to maybe stick it on my wall or just keep it in a drawer, So Life on Film, I'm just raving about how much I love film photos. Again, who inspired me? Jane. I have loved film for a very, very long time. I've been shooting it again. This was like 10 years ago. I've been shooting it since high school. I had a little Holga camera that I was shooting. And like, I made so much more time for creativity back then, as you do when you're younger without bills to like kill your joy. But I took so many more film photos back then, and I still love film, and I've been trying to get back into film. Like on my last Japan trip last year, I did take some film photos. I definitely didn't take as many as I wanted, but again, watching Jane's videos just renewed my love for it because I remembered how much I loved it and how much more I want to take photos of it. And now I have a reason to not just take the photo and like have it digitally. I can print it out and put it in my journal as well. So it's all just working out. This is me just raving on about how all of my interests are converging, and it's just working out so perfectly. This was a spam letter, a junk envelope, and I typed on it with the typewriter. I was just talking about how like why is everything working out so well right now? And I'm like, is this what it feels like to come home to myself? Like, am I healing? Is this a sign of healing? Because like all of my old loves, my film camera, my typewriter, journaling, traveling, everything is kind of coming up to the surface. And it felt very significant that I was going through this process, this transition, this period in my life where I'm like returning to the things that I loved. But then I'm also talking about how I'm relieved that I still love those things, because we change as people. We have different interests. And it's kind of lovely in a way to know that I'm still interested in the same things that I was as like a 20-year-old, a 15-year-old, like I still love photography. I started photographing things when I was like 14. So I love change. I'm not afraid of change, but at the same time, it's lovely to have interests that have been consistent through those like decades. So that's just what that little tidbit was about. This makes me laugh. I quit. So I have been doing for like a few months now, 6 months now. No, since May last year. I can't maths, but since May last year, I was studying for a certificate in counseling, because I want to do more business coaching in the future. It's something that I'm working towards because I am so passionate about, well, I mean, you're probably not surprised with how much I talk, but I just love talking, and I love talking about business, and I love talking about like self-development and like growing and like and revelations and like self-limiting beliefs and all of that stuff. I just think it's all connected, and healing and all that. So I was taking this course because I thought it would help me, like this qualification would help me with my business coaching. I did not anticipate how much work there would be involved, and this was an online course that's meant to be self-paced. So there were no classes. It was completely self-managed, which I liked. But golly, it was a lot of work, and I had to do like face-to-face, like one-on-one Zoom calls in order to pass some assessments, like I had to pretend I was the counselor, the teacher was a client, and it was a lot of work. And it wasn't exactly in the realm of work that I loved. Like I was focusing more on, I don't know, it just was different. And it got to a point where I realized it was holding me back from like my other things that I wanted to do this year. And it eventually got to the point where I'm like, it's not worth the trade-off anymore, because I have to finish it by August this year. There was a deadline and I was kind of behind, and I could have pushed to finish it. But I realized, and after talking with my admin, Kieran, that it wasn't worth it. And if I was going to give it up, I could use that time to pursue other things, like, you're hearing it here first, like journaling workshops, which I am really keen to do this year. So I quit. I submitted my deferral form. So technically I didn't quit. I still have a year if I want to come back and do it, which I won't. But it didn't cost anything, thank goodness. That is why I did the course to begin with, and that is why I'm quitting so easily. But yes, I am using this now as an excuse to throw myself into other projects that fill me with so much joy, which is journaling workshops. I'm planning to do like a end of year business workshop online, like on Zoom, where we will go through like planning your year. That's still very new in the works, but you've heard it here first. That's my plan for this year instead of studying. Also, I am traveling a lot more this year, and I want to do more YouTube videos and all that. So it wasn't worth the time trade-off. I am just sticking an unrelated picture here, but it kind of feels related because I just got a surge of creativity after I quit. Like I felt such a release. I felt so much lighter. And then I created this photo, which I haven't really ever made something like this before. I'm just lettering, but there was so much more effort put into this photo, and I felt like it was because I had more time and I was mentally free. I was just unburdened. But then I stuck in some recent YouTube videos. I posted 2 pretty much within the same week. Again, was it because I quit? I don't know, but I'd like to think so. And I ordered some new washi tape. So again, another sneak peek, but this is technically a restock, but I changed the design slightly and made it a little bit smaller, but just some solid colors and then a vintage script. This is the same design as the one in my shop right now as a sticker sheet, but I made it a washi tape as well. And that is the end. So again, I'm tracking how many pages are left because I'm really excited about that. But that is the end of the flip through. I don't know if I talked about each page enough. I don't know if this was interesting at all to you, but I felt like I really wanted to do a flip through up until this point because I've just been loving this journal so much. So I felt like for my sake, I had to document what I've been up to. So I have this to look back on as a memory. The next spread I'm going to do is going to be about the day trip that I took with Kevin, and I took some film photos. So I'm not going to do it in this video because I feel like this video is long enough, but it's not enough as a standalone video, so I might just squeeze that into a studio vlog. But yeah, that is my life archives / photo journal / junk journal, memory, whatever you want to call it. It is just like my life archived. That's pretty much what it is. And it is getting so chunky and I love it. And I just love how this book was something that I avoided using for so long and it's kind of falling apart. Honestly, it's turned into something that I really love, even though I hate the lines. Like I ideally would like to use the Stalogy. I've never actually used the Stalogy. I bought it in Japan, but I have been saving that because I don't quite have a use for it yet. I have one more journal to use before the Stalogy, but I think ideally if the Stalogy works, I would love to use that. I love the grid lines. I love the thinness of the paper. I love the size of it, everything. I don't know if I can finish this book this year, so I'm going to assume no, I can. I definitely can. I was going to say I assume no, but that was only a few months. This was October. When was it again? October. This is 3 months worth. So yeah, I'm definitely going to finish this in maybe another few months, which is very exciting. And I'll get to start a new Life Archives journal, which is the milligram journal that I showed in my Techikagi, if you remember. It's in the cupboard behind me, so I can't show you right now. But that is it. I hope I didn't talk too fast. Sorry, I do get very overexcited when I talk about journaling, so I might have talked a little bit too fast. I'm learning to talk a little bit slower. But that is my Life Archives journal. I would love to know if you have something similar or if you combine it with like another journal, or do you have like a standalone one? But thank you so much for watching. I hope you found this entertaining, hopefully useful in some way, but I hope this inspires you to document little ordinary moments as well that we don't realize at the time how special it'll be to look back on. But again, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!